Hey guys, we are back with another Bedtime Stories video with Layla. I am super excited for this week's Bedtime Stories. Disclaimer, I do want you guys to know that I do not read the stories before I read them with you. I want to do this together. This is a team effort. I would love to know your input on each story that I read, especially because some of them get a little kooky, get a little weird, and I am super excited again to do this video with you guys. So sit back, relax, and let's watch. So our first story today says, "Am I the asshole? In a rage, I flashed my father-in-law right in front of my mother-in-law. My husband's parents came to stay with us for the week. They live about 2.5 hours away. I sleep in shorts and a tank top. Well, this morning I woke up and made some coffee and sat down at the table to drink it. Soon after, my father-in-law came in and got himself a cup and sat across from me. We had a nice conversation about how the family's doing, etc. And a few minutes passed and my mother-in-law came in and got her coffee and sat down next to her husband. She started staring me down. After a minute, she hatefully asked if I liked having my tits all out in front of her husband. I was mortified and rather pissed off, so I told her it was a effing tank top, and if I wanted to show him my tits, I would just do this. And I pulled my shirt up and flashed him my bare breast. I immediately realized what I just did and got insanely embarrassed and hightailed it to my room. I instantly heard her go to the guest room, and within minutes, I heard their suitcases being wheeled down the hallway and the front door slammed. I immediately called my husband crying. He soon was crying too, crying from laughter. I felt terrible, but this lady has always torn me down and has always been hateful towards me for no reason other than the fact that I took her baby boy from her. I know I went over the top crazy, but she has been pushing me there for over 20 years. I tried to call and apologize, but she won't take my call. How big of an a-hole am I?" Me personally, like, if I'm being so truthful, like, from her point of view, from the, how old is she? Oh, it doesn't say. From the writer's point of view, it gives not the a-hole because why are you bothering me? But also the mother-in-law being hateful because I took her baby boy from her. Girl, like, her flashing the husband definitely came from, you've been messing with me too long, here's this. She definitely, like, I love that for her, actually. Like, me personally, from this side, this point of view, like, not the asshole. I feel like you stood your ground. Be embarrassed all you want. They probably look good. You can show them off if you want to. But me being mindful, very demure, very mindful. From the other end, I would be livid, but I also am not the type of mom to be like, you took my baby boy. Like, I'm not a boy mom. I'm a boy mom, but I'm not a boy mom. So, honestly, I thought it was funny. So I have to say not the asshole, and that's just the truth. So, that is story number 1, not the asshole if you ask me. Alright, we got story number 2. Am I the asshole for finding my friend's relationship with my husband weird and concerning? I noticed recently that a female friend of mine stopped liking my posts and started liking my husband's posts and reposts of my photos of my daughter and I on Instagram after she viewed my story. My husband doesn't care that I go through his phone, messages, or apps to look at his conversations with everyone and anyone, by the way. I've been going through his Instagram to check up on my friend's interactions with my husband because some weird feelings she's been giving me. Immediately, when I tell you that gut feeling, that intuition is always on point, she's being weird. Like, I know she's being weird. She's being weird. She's being weird. You felt it already. What do you need validation for? But continue. Around 8 months ago, I hosted a birthday party at my house and overheard a conversation this female friend was having with her longtime best friend. I heard her complaining that it was not weird that she was trying to have a have a friendship, with my husband, but that somebody else that she'd known for a long time told her it was very strange. I went to my husband and told him about this conversation I overheard, since it was not being held with me, how uncomfortable it made me feel, and he thanked me for setting boundaries in our marriage and agreed. I told him I was aware that they were exchanging memes and messages on Instagram and told him to stop, and he agreed to. The same friend came over for, why are you hanging out with this girl? What? Like, that was enough. Okay, the same friend came over 4 months ago to drop off a birthday present for me. And as soon as she walked through the door, she greeted me with, "Oh, I didn't know you were dressing like that." I was wearing a casual summer dress and nothing fancy. I found it strange that she would become self-conscious at my home when my husband and daughter were the only ones home besides me. My husband was in our bedroom playing video games. I was having a conversation with my friend and she started asking where my husband was, and I told her what he was doing. I found this strange, but shortly after she left, after having a really boring conversation with me, I felt like she'd only come over to talk to my husband at that point. Should I be worried about her? I've only known her for 2 years. Side eye. By the way, her love life is very sad and she seems very insecure to me. She has been sleeping with my husband's best friend for 2 years now and thinks she's in love with him. On the other hand, my husband's best friend has made it clear that he doesn't like her that way. Sex and hang out only, nothing serious about her. And very obviously hides her in his Instagram post, and refuses to meet each other's parents. She's not allowed to post his face on her Instagram unless he's seen with a bunch of his female friends too. I don't know what she wants. I don't know if she wants what we have, if she wants male attention for validation, or if she thinks she has to get close to my husband so her friends with benefits falls in love with her. Either way, should I be concerned? I feel like we already know the answer to that, especially because I had to stop so many times because, girl, there is no way you are that dumb. That lady wants your husband. She clearly wants your husband and you're being slow. Like, you're being slow. Like, there's nothing else I could say besides that, because what do you mean? What do you even mean? Am I the asshole? And why is your husband talking to her? Like, I just don't understand. Like, yes, we can be in a friend group, but what are y'all talking on this app for? But I'm washing my hands with this story because I just feel like you're obviously being dumb. And you don't really want that advice because you don't want the advice. You don't, because you know that that's weird. You know that's dumb. I'm stuttering because, girl, do you need some common sense knocked into you? I'm very confused. So I'm washing my hands with this story. We already know the answer, girl. You're not the asshole, but you are stupid. Okay, so this one's just a random story, and it says, I accidentally took the wrong dog home from the dog park. So here's what happened. I took my golden retriever Max to the dog park yesterday. As usual, he's a social butterfly, so I let him off the leash to run around with the other dogs. When it was time to go, I spotted him by the water bowl, called him over, and he happily trotted up. I leashed him, said goodbye to a few dog park regulars, and headed home. It wasn't until I got inside that I realized this wasn't Max. The dog I brought home looked almost identical, but was a bit too hyper and had a weird fascination with my cat, which Max usually ignores. After a brief moment of panic, I checked the tag, and yep, totally different dog. Turns out his owner had already noticed the switch and was frantically looking around the park. I rushed back with not Max, and we had a good laugh about it. We sorted it out. Anyone else have one of those I can't believe that just happened moments lately? Not in a sense of this, because like, I mean, I guess I can't blame him. I'm not a pet owner, so, but I feel like it could happen. Like, I really wanted to be like, how do you forget your dog? But then I'm thinking, like, if Harlan had an identical bag to somebody at school and I accidentally took their bag, or like they'll accidentally send jackets home and I won't notice till we get home, and I'm just like, this is not yours. So yeah, like, it's happened before. A whole dog though, like, I hope now he's going to check the tags. Why would you not check the tags as well? Like, does your dog not have a certain collar or a certain leash? Like, you didn't notice that. Maybe you were distracted, but maybe don't be distracted whenever you're, like, taking your dog home. Okay, last story, and then we'll wrap up bedtime stories. It says, Anonymous, I lied to my parents about hearing voices as a kid. Genuinely, I don't know why I did this. The lie got super involved. I ended up seeing a neurologist and getting brain scans, but weirdly, they did find unusual brain activity in a place that makes complete sense for auditory hallucinations. Once I went on meds, I pretended I was cured, and my future scans seemed to back that up. I'm still so confused about it. Like, they can't make up an EEG reading. I've never hallucinated in my life, so what are the odds of me making this shit up and actually showing up in a scan? It's been 20 years and it keeps me up at night sometimes. Maybe the voices told you to lie, because what just happened? But you want to know what's scary? I'll tell you one of my own stories. Kids are so weird. Kids are so weird. Like, it was a few weeks ago. There was a fire in Kanawha County that had just started whenever Harlan did this. So we didn't even see or hear about it until the next morning. So I had got back from one of my jobs, and usually I don't work at night, but I got back home and Harlan was like, Mommy, I don't want there to be a fire. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no fire. What? And you know what? We did have like a little fire one time over a year ago in our kitchen. So I'm thinking he's talking about that. So I just like wipe it off my shoulders. I'm just like, there is no fire, baby. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, the fire behind the door. And I'm just looking around. Our kitchen doesn't have a door. Like, there's a entryway, but there's no door. So I'm just like, again, just shoving it up. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's almost 9. It was like 9, almost 9:30. Like, it's time for bed. What are you talking about? So the next morning, we get up, right? And I get on Facebook. There's a damn fire in Kanawha County. We live in Kanawha County, but it's a little ways down the way. And I'm just like, there's no way this little boy done predicted or knew about the fire before, not even before it happened. It was like when it first started, but who was telling him about this fire? So I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way. And so I had asked him who told him about the fire, like, how did you know about the fire? And he talks about his friend Angel. He says Angel lives on the moon and comes back and tells him stuff, and he's been doing this for a while, and actually, like, he's been talking about Angel for a while. Angel tells him stuff, and that right there secured everything that Angel said, because I'm just like, what are you talking about? But like, so now I have to watch what he says just to make sure, like, asses are covered, because like, I want to say, where do kids get that? Like, where did Story Man get that from? But, like, his brain told him. Or, like, there was a reason why he knew. Or there was a reason why he acted like that, so they could see whatever the issue was that they didn't even know was an issue. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, everything happens for a reason, basically. Because there's no way you just was, like, playing and they actually found something. Like, that was a reason. Like, you were playing for a reason. Because just imagine, like, what could have happened or what was actually wrong with this little boy's brain. Like, I don't know. Kids are weird. I love them, but kids are weird. So that wraps up story time. I had a blast. Hopefully next time I can find some funny stories. I did. I really liked the first story. I thought that was funny. Honestly, like, she's a boss for that. She shouldn't be embarrassed. She should be proud. I'm proud of her, so let's clap for her. Yay! All right, but that wraps up story time with Layla this time, and we will be back for the next video.